SD-WAN demonstration. Cisco Meraki security appliance can be remotely deployed in minutes using zero-touch cloud provisioning. Security settings are simple to synchronize across thousands of sites using templates. It is a complete unified threat management solution featuring next-gen firewall, client VPN, IPS, IDS, and advanced malware protection. Auto VPN and SD-WAN securely connects branches, in 3 clicks through an intuitive and web-based dashboard. So let's show you the dashboard right away. So the first page we're seeing is the client page. So the Meraki dashboard gives administrators the ability to monitor and manage individual network clients, and the client details are all consolidated into this page. You can filter the clients, or you can look at, choose a time period that you're interested in from 2 hours to 30 days. And the graph below is the bandwidth consumption of all the clients in total, and you can break it down into applications, by application, by hovering on the application here, and you can see each application how much bandwidth they're consuming. We can also click on more to see complete details of applications and their usage information. We can also view this by ports as well as HTTP content details. And below we can see that all the clients associated to the network at this site, including wired and wireless clients. And it shows us the status of the client, description, when it was last seen, usage, and operating system, IP address and policy, and so on. And you can sort all the records with each of the fields. Like I'm sorting by usage, so I can see who's using most, consuming most bandwidth. And we can also drill into clients from right here. So if we click on one of them, it will show us the details of this client. What's the status of this client? Is it currently connected? If yes, which switch and port is connected to, and how we get the user information. And this one is through 802.1x authentication, and it also shows details of how that client is connected and through which port, and which VLAN. What's the port usage, and packet counter on the port, whether there are drops, and so on. And we can also do ping, to see whether there's any latency and loss, with all the network details and all that. And we can also drill into event logs that basically shows us, all the logs that's related to this particular client, with details, right? So, for example, we're looking at the authentication and deauthentication details of this client, right? So that's the client's information. And the next, I want to quickly show you how do we build a site-to-site VPN. So Meraki Auto VPN technology is a unique solution that allows site-to-site VPN tunnel to be created within just a few mouse clicks, right? So when enabled through the dashboard, each participating device automatically first negotiate keys and establish encrypted tunnels, and also advertise local subnets and download a global VPN routes table, and etc. So let me show you how easy it is to configure, right? So first we get to choose whether it's off or on, right? So if it's on, we get to choose the topology, whether it's a hub topology, which means we're participating in a mesh topology, or if we are in a spoke topology, which tunnels, which hub we establish our tunnels to, right? So here we choose a hub, and there's really not much more. The next thing is to select local networks and which network we want it to participate in the VPN, right? So that is all that we need to configure in a VPN, site-to-site VPN, and you can see how easy it is, right? So next thing I want to quickly show you is about threat protection, which is basically source fire snort, intrusion detection, and AMP, anti advanced malware technology. So basically with AMP, there's not much to configure. Basically, just enable or disable here. And once it's enabled, so AMP inspects the HTTP file downloads through the through the MX appliance and blocks or allows the file to download based on the threat intelligence we retrieve from the AMP cloud. So basically, the device submits the SHA-256 value of the file to the AMP cloud database, and it returns its disposition, whether it's clean or malicious. And then we allow or block based on that. But if there's a unknown file, then we can then submit it into threat grid because we have an integration here as well. And occasionally there could be false positive that's happening. So we can allow the file through here, the allow list, or we can allow the URL of the file. So another thing on this page that we can configure is intrusion detection and prevention. So this is really snort. And one thing that we can first do is to turn it on. And then we need to select whether it's detection, which is IDS, detection only, and prevention, which is after detection we try and reset the connection. If it's an intrusion detected. So this is the first setting, and the second one is rule set. The default is balanced, but this defines how aggressive we want snort to behave, right? So from connectivity, which is focusing more on connectivity, less on security, and balanced and security, which is more focusing on providing more security to the network. The rules were used from current year and the past 2 years, and and with the connectivity, we are focusing on vulnerabilities with a CVSS score of 10 only, but balance is 9 and security is 8. And as you can see, that's a lot more rules that's involved in the rule set, which provides more security, of course, right? And of course, there's umbrella protection, which we'll talk later. But once the intrusion detection prevention is enabled, so all of the alerts will be accessible at the security center. So let me quickly show you the security center here. So this security center provides a centralized view of for security filtering events, including snort and AMP events, right? So here we can choose filter by event type or disposition or action. And same as before, we can choose time period from 2 hours to 2 weeks. And under MX summary, we have event over time. So this is number of events matching configured filters over time. And we can also see MX events, which give us full details of all the events that's happening, the disposition and action to it, and with detailed source, type, and destination. Back to the summary, right? So on the right we can see top source threats. So this is a map, and a table summary of the most common IP addresses associated with threats matching the configured filters. And we can also see most affected operating systems as well as most prevalent threats. So this really shows us, the detections from snort and AMP as a list and their occurrence. And the most affected clients is showing us that a breakdown of the subset of the clients that have generated the most events of the selected filter. So as we can see, this user, Troy, has 668 events. If we want to drill into details, we can click on the client. That takes us back to the client page, which we've seen before. But over here, what we can do is if this client is generating too many incidents, then we can potentially block it, right? And make a message appear when on a splash page when she tries to open a page, or we can assign it to a specific group policy, say contained, to contain the client, right? So this is how easy that we can apply a policy and change the policy to a user. And back to the clients page, what we can also do is we can select multiple users and do a bulk edit of their policies and throw them into either block or a particular group policy there. So this is a quick demonstration of the Meraki security and SD-WAN. Hopefully that you find this helpful. Thank you for your time.